All right, so I'm just going to be talking about NFC and RFID scanners. If you went to this week's Wiggles meeting, I was not like doing this with Seth. It just kind of happened to end up at that same time. So, all right, let's get started. Whoops. There we go. Okay, who am I? I'm a first year. I'm Dan, by the way. I'm a first year cybersecurity major. I'm from around Hartford and I did research at UConn. I like music and I'm interested in hardware, and those are my two dogs down there. Left one's Chance, right one's Mia. Sorry that the captions are kind of covering that. All right, so let's get started. Does anyone know what induction is? If you took UP2, you probably would. Okay, so induction is basically just, I say probably because I don't know. Some of you may not have been paying full attention. I know I wasn't. So I had to refresh myself on this. So induction, basically, you have typically an electromagnetic field that is changing, and so the all of the EMF going through a coil or loop is changing, and that induces a current to go around it. That's an important concept. That's how NFC and RFID like chips actually function. Yeah. So this is how I'm gonna get into like the inside of a card, but basically what you need to know right now is that there's a tag and inside of the card, and then that tag is what catches the electromagnetic field coming from the RFID reader. So the RFID reader is sending out this EMF or electromagnetic field, and that is being caught by this loop inside of the card, and then that is through induction, it's powering the whole system to run. All right. So order of transmission, I just kind of went through this briefly. So the changing of an electromagnetic field forces a current around a circuit through induction. The current powers the transmitter in the card that sends the user's ID to be authorized. And if the ID is in the list of authorized users, the door opens. So that's the physical access portion of that. Here's like an example of what each of these things kind of looks like. That's a very small RFID tag, but you get the picture. All right, so I actually have some of these right here. So a blank NFC card right here. So that would be the one on the left, and then a sample RFID card, or RFC, or NFC, sorry. A sample NFC card is on the right. So the RFID card has a slightly larger transmitter, and because it'll send typically a little bit more data and on a larger scale. So you can be a lot farther with an NFC card or with an RFID card than you can with NFC. All right. So some other components of like cards that you'll typically have. You'll have like the smart chip, the like mag stripe. That's how we like swipe into a lot of the buildings on campus, especially residence halls. That's like a whole nother system that I guess I could do another presentation on, but you have to have other tools for that. And then the NFC and RFID chips are right there. And one is for NFC is for close contact, and RFID is for a little bit farther away. All right. Before you ask, how can this be used offensively? Yeah, you're welcome, Kenny. I put that in there for you. All right. So it's a little bit of I actually have one of these with me. So an RFID NFC reader writer. There we go. So it's got, yeah, that's how you know it's high quality. All right, so basically what this thing does is it acts as a reader for the NFC chip, and it'll send out an electromagnetic field, and that'll power the card to actually send a signal back through bits. And so if I click read here, card number is 68937 Yeah, so that's just like a random number that I just kind of put on there off a whim, and yeah, so you could basically just read one of these, grab a blank card. This is a different card, by the way. I know it kind of looks the same, but it's different. So put that in there, and then I can hit write on there. And now anything that would have opened with this card will now open with this one. If it, obviously you can have some different like authentication methods. That's why this won't work with like your credit card. So don't feel worried that like your credit card is vulnerable to like these kinds of attacks, because they have different safety measures built into that. And so if you have a flipper 0, you can also pretty much do the same thing, but specifically, I don't think that the NFC function, like the NFC write function, actually works, but I know it does work for the RFID because I tried it on one of these cards. So this is an RFID card. I wrote, I think, just like a bunch of just random numbers on it again, just gibberish really, just to show that it could work. And if I scan that, I have it on here right now, and then I can emulate it, and that'll, if I hold it up to a sensor, it'll work. So pretty cool stuff. All right. Any questions? I know that was kind of short. Yes, Kenny.
You have to insert the NFC/RFID card into the reader.
Some of them you don't. This one's. Oh, this one? Yeah. You actually have to like hold it up to it. It doesn't have to be like in the back, but like I could have it like this, and it still reads. You want to take a look? Read. Read. Oh.
I've been playing my hand.
You want to try with the flipper?
It'll work.
All right. That's kind of crazy. All right. Any other questions? Will. I think you can download. Yeah, you can download some like databases. My guess is it probably won't work too well, but very slow. Like anything else on the flipper. If you've ever used one, a lot of stuff is very slow because it has to run through a bunch of data, or all of the database items. Philip.
Adding to that, if you calculate micro classics or some of the newer ones like Best Fire, it can't break yet.
Yeah. Oh. What? Q repeat it again. So.
My fair classic keys, you can calculate them out with like connect the flipper to your phone.
The My Fair Classic keys, you can connect them out if you connect it to your phone.
But the Best Fire cannot be cracked just yet.
But it can't be cracked just yet.
Best Fire card type.
Des Fire. I can't really hear what you're saying. Sorry. What, Casey? Sorry. Yes, Casey?
Okay, so the new RFID them?
They work.
They work?
Yes.
Okay, because we're going to switch to the blue system, which will connect to your ID card. So if you copy somebody who has to access to a server, we're going to have to write that as a thing of the IDs in PCI.
Yeah.
Cool. Huh? No, they're going to start putting it to your ID if you can tap in. So you can copy the ID.
I know, but in the same fashion, if you can't necessarily clone Texas keys, you can't clone those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of like important systems will have other security measures, and you won't just be able to do that.
The whole of the partners make this chip a little bulkier.
Yeah.
If you look at older cards compared to the newer cards, you can clearly see the microcontroller. And the actual, I think it's flash storage or the device logic as a combination of privacy. It's tied to that card specifically.
Okay.
Because this is the same reason why, like, when you get the same credit cards, and now they jump into the actual invoice plus stuff like that.
Okay.
I would like to fix that.
Okay.
However, seeing how you remember the whole max plus 0 names, I don't know.
I'm really sorry about that.
And so what Kenny was just saying is that with important infrastructure cards, they make the chips a little bit bulkier, and they have private keys associated with them. So that's just another level of security that's built into that. Yeah, so theoretically, I have not tried this because it would be unethical, but you could copy your RITID and then go to a place that has an NFC scanner like Gracie's, and then go and put this or like copy someone else's ID and go and put it on the Gracie's NFC reader, and it may or may not take dining dollars off of their account.
We'll find out this week.
Gideon?
That won't work. Let's be clear. You can get an ID off of it. You can get the actual thing that is registered on the card.
Okay, that's
so
good.
You can see it exists, and you can get like a unique identifier for the card, but it won't scan into like forms. Because they ask for the private key and whatever, and the handshake is.
But would it work at Gracie's with the NFC? Because that's MagStripe.
MagStripe is completely related and will work very well. But you know what works even better? Just walk people.
Yeah, that is true. Devin? Yeah, for RFID. No. Well, it's more than 2 feet. Yeah, no. A lot of storage facilities will have NFC tags in boxes or shipping containers, and so they can figure out where each of them is, and typically it's about I want to say 20 meters. It's fairly far, 20 feet maybe, somewhere around there. All the way up to 100 meters. Yeah, that's what Google says. We like Google. Theoretically, yeah.
The government knows where you are.
Is anyone else's pocket getting warm? All right. Any more questions? I think I'll leave it there. All right. Thank you.